And welcome to a Winner's Corner that have a full focus on New Year's Eve and the fantastic V75 round we have in store at Axevalla racetrack. It's the grand finale of Winterburst and we have a multi-jackpot. And of course, our expert Mike has been studying very hard to try to solve this for us. And what do you have to say now about the round, Mike?
Oh, this is it. This is the one. We've got a huge jackpot here, and this is much more interesting than Momarken and Århus and whatever we've had last week. Axevalla racetrack, very even fields. Looks like a really, really difficult V75 round, and I think we're in store for something really, really huge here. We're going to see a big payout this time.
That sounds very good, and let's now immediately throw ourselves over this round. And we start in race 6. It equals the first leg in the V75 round. It's a big field, 15 horses over full distance. Circular start, but you've managed, Mike, to single out a winner for us here. Tell us.
Well, first off, circular start is key here. We've got Åke Svanstedt back in Sweden again. He's here for Christmas. He's driving number 1 XL Bygg Palema from number 1. Do you remember Åke Svanstedt from the number 1 in the circular start? Guaranteed to take the lead. XL Bygg Palema looked really strong second to last time in a very easy win. Last time a bit of a failure, but I think that this horse is put in form now after being away for a month by a very skilled trainer at the home track of Axevalla. I think this horse is prepared for a really good race here, and with Åke Svanstedt driving, what's not to like?
So a win bet here in race 6 to start off this New Year's Eve. Horse number 1, XL Bygg Palema. We turn the page to the next race, race 7. It's the high-class race this Monday, and maybe the easiest race to solve. I don't know. Only 9 horses in the race, Mike. How do you solve it?
Well, 9 horses, but a very even field, and I'm not entirely sure who's going to be the favorite here, but I've got a pick that I believe strongly in. Number 6, Michelangelo Ås, very fast behind the gate, has a good chance to take the lead if he tries. However, angle of attack and Justice Ås are on the inside, so I think it may be cost a bit too much to take the lead. But last time he was locked in, he was boxed in, he had a lot of gas left. He was virtually bursting out of his skin there against Target Kronos and Sorbet. So good competition last time. I feel that this race is not the best gold division we've seen all year. Very even field, and I think with the form that he showed last time, he's the most interesting one.
Very well then. A win bet here in race 7, horse number 6, Michelangelo Ås. Turning the page once again, we land in race 8, the third leg in the V75 round. And here we have another one of these 15 horse races. Difficult race to figure out, but you, Mike, once again, you think that you can buy us out of this one with only 1 horse. Tell us.
Yeah, this one I believe very strongly in. Number 10, Seal Kronos, away for a year, then came back to the racetrack and put in a very nice performance. It was a prepare race. 200 meters to go, he was still last, or 300 meters at least, and then a very strong finish the last 300 meters. He was really, he looked good. He was trotting properly. He's been injured, so it's really important to see that he's trotting nicely. And I think with that race, he's definitely going to move up in form quite a bit. Admir Sukanovic's horses usually need a race or two before they're back in form, but they tend to be very well trained. And once they get the racing done, they move up fast. So I think Seal Kronos is ready for a real strong performance here, and he is definitely the most classy horse in this race.
So number 10, Seal Kronos, is our ticket to survive this 8th race of the day. We move on to the daily double, and this Monday we have it in races 11 and 12. And DD1, once again, we face a race with 15 horses, Mike. This time only mares. Do you have an easy way out for us also here?
Well, the best horses are at the back, but they're struggling with a 40-meter handicap and a relatively big field. Stonewashed Diamond it could very well do it anyway, but I'm going to go for a front runner. I think number 3, Grace River, has a good chance to take the lead here. Still undefeated. Jorma Kontio driving this time. I don't think that's a big minus. I think he's a very skilled driver, especially in the lead, and I think Grace River could prove difficult to catch here if she gets to keep her own pace up front.
In the second DD leg, Peter Untersteiner with number 3 Magic Happen seems to become the favorite, but you put your money down for number 4 Minnestad's Ecuador. How come?
Well, I haven't been all that impressed by Magic Happens lately. He doesn't seem to have the form he did, when was it, this summer. Minnestad's Ecuador, a very, very strong horse who is in good form. He's coming up in form after being away for a bit. He's now also had a bit of a training session. I think that the trainer has been aiming for this race. Last time, he's kind of a slow horse. He doesn't accelerate very fast, but once he gets going, he can keep going. So last time he had a lot of gas left there behind other horses. This time he's got an interesting post here. I think he's just going to go and keep a good pace here. It doesn't matter if he's first on the outside. He's really, really strong. And I think that over the long stretch at Axvalla especially, I think he's got a good chance here, and he's way overlooked on the early bets at least.
So for this New Year's Eve, this Monday, we have one single combination for the daily double. Now, let's discuss one of the greatest V75 rounds this year. We have a multi-jackpot, loads of money to a single winner, of course. And Mike, you have created a V75 system for us that is slightly bit larger than what you normally do. Tell us how you've been thinking in general, building your system.
Well, it's a huge jackpot now, so why not go all in, save a bit of money and save it for New Year's Eve. So I'm using 1,500 combinations this time. It's difficult early on to tell who's going to be favorite in several of the races, but I've taken a couple of horses that I hope have been flying under the radar a bit, that have shown really nice form lately, but may not be the favorites. I don't know. Michelangelo was in Seal Kronos.
We've talked about both of them already. So let's talk about V75 4, because we haven't talked about this race. And here we find what seems to become the biggest favorite in the round. Number 7, Captain Kidd. How come that you back him up with 4 more horses?
Well, partly because of what you said. He's the biggest favorite of the round, and with a huge jackpot like this, I don't want to go where everybody else is going. I think he's a bit overestimated. He's a nice horse, but it's a pretty even field here. He's got a post all the way on the outside and fast horses on the inside. So I think he really risks getting parked on the outside.
V75 5 is the other race that we haven't mentioned yet. It's a race for mares of a sprint distance. Obviously, 4 marks are needed for you to feel safe here. Tell us which one of these horses that you find the most interesting.
Well, the best ones are at the back there, Zealand Kronos and Hooray Boko. And in the early bets, Zealand Kronos seems to be one of the favorites, while Hooray Boko is completely overlooked. So if it stays like that up until New Year's Eve, Hooray Boko definitely most interesting.
And as we've already mentioned, this V75 system is built up with 1,500 combinations. And with that, of course, we want to thank you a lot for having to be with us this year. And we hope, of course, that you follow us also next year. Thank you, Mike, for this year. And of course, you know that our website is swedishhorseracing.com. There you'll find loads of information about Swedish trotting and horse betting. With that, we wish you the best of luck now with your bets this Monday. We hope that you get a chunk out of that jackpot money, and Happy New Year.